Welcome back to the channel. You guys really seem to like the review I did on the DIOR Stick Foundation. This is going to be a tutorial showing you exactly how I apply it in a super simple, easy way using mostly my fingers and one brush. You don't even have to use the brush if you don't want to. You can do this entire tutorial with just your fingers. Okay, the key to great foundation is proper skincare underneath. Here I use the Ilia True Skin Serum Primer and the Naked Sundays SPF 50. You don't need a primer, but at the very least, of course, SPF underneath your makeup. So let's start the foundation application. That's the DIOR Stick Foundation and the Contour Stick. My color was in 2N, that's a neutral shade. And I just start really simply. I just apply it from the stick onto my skin, just little amounts. I'm not using a crazy amount. And I start tops of my forehead, sides of my face, and in the middle of my cheekbones going out. The next thing that I do is, again, clean fingers. And what I do is I just start blending, and I actually start kind of on the outside of my face because I find that if I start piling a lot of makeup in the center of my face, that's where I have a lot of texture. That's where I have enlarged pores. And too much makeup can kind of get trapped in those areas. So I'm kind of, again, I'm starting from the outside and I'm kind of blending in toward the center. So in the center, I'll have less makeup. And again, you want to make sure that you're really, really working that into the skin, almost as if you're applying skincare. And what this is going to do is really mesh and meld that makeup into your skin so that the makeup almost becomes one with the skin and it's very seamless looking. And you can really just get a natural, soft, pretty effect. So I just blend and I keep blending and I keep blending. And the makeup doesn't really go away, but it definitely softens and just looks more skin-like. And don't forget to continue to blend all the way down to your jawline as well. And anywhere where I feel like I need some additional coverage, like underneath my eyes here, I will just go in and I'll just spot apply and very gently dab under the eye area where I need it. And you don't want to put a lot of makeup on the outer corner or underneath your eye because that does tend to build up and show texture, especially under the thin skin of our eyes. So I start in the middle where I've got most of that darkness and then I blend out. I also take this foundation and I use a very small amount on my eyelids. I found it to be a wonderful eyeshadow primer. Now again, if you're not using this particular DIOR Stick Foundation, don't worry. If you have a stick foundation that you love, just use it the exact same way. And if you haven't tried it on your eyelids, try it because it does make a really nice eyelid primer, or I should say eyeshadow primer if you're wearing eyeshadow. But even to just take away discoloration on the eyelid, it's great as well. And again, any kind of redness or any type of, imperfections that you have around the nose that you want to cover, I just lightly go over and then blend, blend, blend. Remember, it's the warmth of your fingertips that's really going to marry that makeup in with the skin and make everything look beautiful. So when you think that you haven't blended enough, blend some more. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. And then I take my fingertips and I just kind of press and tap into the skin. It's really nice because it gets the blood flow going, but it also, again, pushes that makeup into the skin even more to make it look even more skin-like. So just press, press, press. I also take special care around my nose. You don't want foundation buildup around there and around your jaw as well. And now here I'm just taking the foundation stick and I'm just very lightly going over some sunspots that I have on the outer corner of my face. And the cream foundation is nice because it's opaque on those areas, but it still looks really pretty everywhere else. Now this is the contour stick, the DIOR contour stick. I got the lightest shade, shade 1. And what I do is I go on the tops of the outer part of my cheekbone, underneath my chin, and on the top sides of my forehead. Now this is the part where I do grab a synthetic foundation brush, and this is a Huda Beauty blending brush, and I just very lightly stipple. Now stippling means that you're not rubbing that brush back and forth on the skin. You're basically using the brush like a fingertip and you're pressing it into the skin, kind of like how I was doing at the end of my foundation application, I'm doing the exact same thing, and I'm pressing and I'm blending. I'm taking a little bit of what's left on that brush to just go on the sides of my nose. And then under my chin and my jawline here, I'm blending out to give myself a little definition along the jawline and a little bit of warmth on my neck as well, because our necks tend to get really pale. The sun really doesn't hit us under there. And again, I'm going back all over with that brush, just stippling that contour to make it really seamless and pretty into the skin. Next up, I'm going to be applying my cream blush. I use the exact same double-sided makeup brush by Huda Beauty, and this is the Makeup by Mario Cream Blush in Raspberry, one of my all-time favorite colors. It's so bright and pretty. It gives a nice pop of color. And as you'll see, I don't go too low on my cheekbone or too high on my cheekbones. You go too high and you start getting into your eye area, and that's again more product that can collect under there and look heavy. And I'm just stippling that blush up and out onto the high points of my cheekbones. And I take a little bit that's left on the brush, and you'll see that I just pop it on the tops of my forehead as well, and even my nose, and it just gives a really pretty flush of color all over. So this is just 3 products. This is the DIOR Creme Stick Foundation, the contour stick, and the cream blush. And it's so pretty, just fingers and one brush. Now in editing, as I'm doing this and looking over at myself in the video, I probably would have taken that makeup brush and blended the contour underneath my chin and jawline just a little bit more, but you know, I can't really go back in time and do it now. Now, because my skin type is more of a normal to combination, I do need to do a light application of powder to set my makeup and keep it lasting the entire day. Again, you might not need powder. You might be dry, and powder is just going to make you look drier, more powdery, and add texture. I myself, I do need a little bit of powder. This is one of my favorite drugstore powders. It's the Revlon Blot Matte. I know it says matte on the jar, but it does not show up matte at all. And I take a very soft velour MAC powder puff, and I press it into the powder, and I remove excess by dotting that puff on the back of my hand before that puff touches my skin. And then I do a press and roll motion all over where I tend to show shine, and that's along the chin, the outer sides of my face, my forehead, and my nose. And notice, again, as I'm applying more powder, I remove the excess on the back of my hand. You don't want to apply too much powder onto your skin, because then it starts to look matte and flat and dull, and you take away that really nice, pretty luminosity. And powder's great because a lot of us need it to set the makeup and prolong the makeup wear, but it can also dull and dry the skin out or make it look dull and dry. So if you're making sure you're not applying too much, and you also make sure that you're removing excess on the back of your hand with that puff before that puff even touches your face, you will be fine. I don't really do that on my neck just because I like to just make sure that on the neck, I can even remove a little bit excess of the contour down there that I might not need. And I just go in everywhere that I need that setting. This next step is 100% completely optional. This is a SPF spray that I really like to use after I powder. I find it takes away the powdery effect of the makeup. It's by Naked Sundays, and it's an SPF 50. It gives a nice glow, and my skin looks more skin-like after I've applied that powder. It brings back that dewiness, but without me looking oily, if that makes sense. And then I just take my powder puff again and just press that spray into the skin. This next thing that I'm going to do is show you the L'Oreal Infallible Makeup Setting Spray. This is also a 100% completely optional step. If you are super, super oily, or if you really need your makeup to last on any particular day, a quick 3 to 5 second spray of this stuff, and I'm going to tell you right now, it smells like hairspray. I'm not a fan of the smell, but this stuff is bulletproof. It really works, and it's a lot cheaper than the Urban Decay setting sprays or a lot of the ones you find at Sephora. But again, those 2 products, completely optional. You could be 100% fine without them. So there it is, a super easy, natural, skin-like foundation look. The blush is super subtle, which I love. That is the most natural way I found to wear cream blush. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. Remember, you don't have to use a brush if you don't want to. You can use your fingers for all 3 products and be just fine. I'm not a Sephora affiliate or anything, and I don't believe that these products sell on Amazon, so you'll probably have to go to your favorite luxury makeup retailer like a Sephora or an Ulta in order to find these 2 products. But no worries, I try to link everything I can for you in the majority of my videos in my Amazon store for your convenience, but I just wanted to let you know. And I also wanted to say thank you for all of my new subscribers. You guys have been helping me grow my channel. I cannot tell you, I am beyond grateful. I am so humbled. And with all your help and encouragement, I really believe that I will be well on my way to my goal, which is to have 1,000 subscribers by Christmas 2024. And I just want to thank you so much for helping me on that journey. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.